Hey everybody, the Oakland side is up to its old illegal tricks again. Darnbaum Grand claims two hedge fund executives who are backing plans to build a coal export terminal in West Oakland gave $24,000 to an independent committee run by a coal lobbyist that's paying for ads supporting Brenda Hardin Fort's campaign for city attorney. Well, let's investigate that, shall we, real quick. Let's investigate that. They describe as a coal lobbyist is Greg McConnell, who I worked with and known. A lobbyist, they say, who represents Insight Terminal Solutions, one of the companies that wants to build the terminal, which will be located near the foot of the Bay Bridge on the former Oakland Army base. Insight Terminal Solutions, which changed ownership several years ago after filing the bankruptcy, is currently suing Oakland for roughly $1 billion in Kentucky bankruptcy court for damages after the city allegedly breached its lease to allow construction of the terminal. And then they go on about the contributors and everything, but no evidence that Greg McConnell is a coal lobbyist. So I checked the state of California register for, you guessed it, people who'd be coal lobbyists. This is what the lobbying directory 2023-2024 for the entire state of California under Secretary of State Shirley N. Weber, PhD. Includes a very long list of people. So quite obviously, if I want to find Greg McConnell, all I have to do is, type his name in the text search, right? So I did just that right here. See where I wrote his last name spelled? Do you know why it's in pink? Because his name isn't there. Greg McConnell is not listed as a lobbyist of any kind in the state of California. Now, if you look under City of Oakland lobbyist reporting, Greg McConnell is listed in Danville for Insight Terminal Solutions, which is now in Los Angeles. They used to be in Kentucky. Business, transportation, and warehousing. But it does list nothing about coal specifically. And there's a good reason for that. Because the Oakland Bocal oversized terminal is not a coal terminal. It is a commodity terminal. In fact, in 2019, as you can see by this headline by the Oakland Post, bulk commodity terminal operator agrees to Oakland Protocol phase-in plan to ban coal. So how can you have a coal terminal if you agree to not have coal running through it, right? The fact of the matter is that the Oakland Bocal oversized terminal is designed to handle commodities. At first, the city of Oakland commissioned an organization called the Tioga Group to identify the proper market for its operation. Tioga Group identified coal, and so that was how coal was selected as the commodity that the Oakland Bocal oversized terminal would haul, because it's the only one that allowed it to pencil out without a government subsidy. But later, before his death, John Siegel, the then CEO of Insight Terminal Solutions, identified a way of replacing coal with wood chips. This called for a phase-out plan because they knew that under this new discovery, they'll be able to have a business operation that was viable. Quote, the phase-out represents a 92% reduction in the amount of coal that could be shipped and eliminates coal by 2040, thereby beating the timetable in California Senate Bill 100, which would not make the state's energy supply 100% carbon-free until 2045, says John Siegel, ITS CEO. The phase-out gives ITS time to supplement and then replace coal with a variety of bulk commodities from grain to shoulder ash to wood chips and others, Siegel explained. You wouldn't find that out from Oakland side because Oakland side doesn't do its homework. It is a politically biased organization that works for so-called progressive public relations operations. And at that, Oakland side is a 501c3 that routinely gets involved in political topics and politically partisan issues like this one, without disclosing that, by the way, this. Zenny 62 Media is proud of the people and organizations it represents. We are a for-profit organization of which Zenny Abraham, me, owns 61%. We find that this is a better and more open a more authentic way of doing news than the nonprofit way. That's not to say that we do not prize good journalism and good reporting. And we do have to say, in fairness to the Oakland side, they do provide that when they're not hiding behind a political agenda. We only wish that they would stop hiding behind political agendas. Thank you. Zenny 62 Media, the Delaware C corporation of which I, Zenny Abraham, owns 60% of the stock, had Insight Terminal Solutions, ITS, as its client. Why? Because I lobbied John Siegel, then in 2019, its CEO, to get them to land ITS as our client so that we could get out the truth about the Oakland bulk and oversized terminal. There are a number of facts you need to know. In 1991, Oakland Sharing the Vision, the Oakland planning organization that got together 500 people at the Oakland Convention Center for a sort of wish list session regarding the direction of Oakland, selected the Oakland bulk and oversized terminal as the #1 economic development priority for the city of Oakland. Why? Because as the 1986 Bay Seaport Plan quite rightly pointed out, the Port of Oakland needed a bulk terminal. It didn't have one then. It still does not have one now. And this is 2024. That project was identified by Phil Tagami when the matter of the replacement of the closed Oakland Army base came up and the city wanted to find a developer to build something else there. The Army said that whatever was to be built had to provide the same low-skill, well-paying jobs that were being eliminated due to closure. Phil rightly identified the Oakland bulk and oversized terminal as providing the best chance to replace those lost jobs. The city of Oakland agreed and selected California Capital Investment Group. Initially, Phil was partnered with Kinder Morgan. Kinder Morgan promised that they would work to build an environmentally friendly bulk commodity terminal, a facility capable of handling many different types of commodities, not only coal, which I might add makes it not a true coal terminal, because a true coal terminal stores coal over vast acres for many amounts of time. This was not that facility. The Oakland bulk and oversized terminal was designed to be a just-in-time facility. The commodity arrives by rail, is immediately transferred to containers, and shipped off overseas to its destination. That's how it works. Commodities were not intended to sit there for long periods of time at all. Just in time was always the objective. Additionally, Pat Cashman, the Oakland bulk and oversized terminal project manager, who also hired me way back in 1985 to work for the city of Oakland in its economic development department when I was a graduate of the Department of City and Regional Planning master's program from University of California at Berkeley. Fast forward to when he was project manager for OBOT, secured the Tioga Group to identify the proper market for OBOT. The Tioga Group pointed to coal, but in its report wrote that California Capital Investment Group did not offer a team that they believe was experienced enough to cause the Oakland bulk and oversized terminal to rise to the proper level of operation to produce a profit. In other words, they were weak. Pat Cashman originally reportedly sought to use that report to suggest a replacement for Phil's organization. But Phil jumped the gun. Phil fired Kinder Morgan, which didn't want to do the kind of environmentally friendly development that Phil wanted to begin with, and make a long story short, hired as partner John Siegel and Insight Terminal Solutions. But when it came quite obvious later that the coal ban was becoming legally costly, John Siegel sought a different market himself. He found one, wood chips. And that's where the whole article came from that I managed to get published in the Oakland Post website. Wood chips. The bottom line is, if you have a bulk terminal that handles a commodity like wood chips, you can't say it's a coal terminal. Calling the Oakland bulk and oversized coal terminal a coal terminal is wrong, because it takes away the simple fact that the city of Oakland could have done two things, and still can. Offer to subsidize the Oakland bulk and oversized terminal so that it doesn't have to turn to the coal market, and also have an agreement where, hey, the city shares in a certain percentage of profits. Could have done that. Or the city could have helped the Oakland bulk and oversized terminal gain a better footing in the wood chip market by subsidizing its ability to acquire necessary partnerships to haul wood chips. The point that I'm making is that the city of Oakland could have actually done, economic development rather than the political method that the city seems to want to do too much, which leads to lawsuits and all kinds of other problems. It didn't do that. It did not do that. So, to buttress my point, and in a demonstration of the rightness of what I'm explaining to you, I was called by my godparents in 2020 to have dinner with a secret guest. That person was Pat Cashman, the man who hired me in 1985, the project manager for the Oakland bulk and oversized terminal. Why? Because Pat wanted me to know that everything that I wrote was 100% correct. That's correct. 100% correct. And now I can tell you that story. And I just did.